Hello, students. Welcome to Easy Elimu Learning Simplified. I am your teacher, Mr. Stanley Ombogo, and it's a privilege to have you in this show. So, yes, students, in this session, we are going to look at that is the plot analysis of the second story in the anthology, A Silent Song and Other Stories. So, the second story is An Incident in the Park. So, An Incident in the Park is a story written by Meja Mwangi. So, Meja Mwangi is a Kenyan, Kenyan author. So, he is the one behind this this interesting story that focuses on some of the things that happen in the society today, and again some of the things that have been brought by modernity. So remember, earlier on we said that is in the previous video when we were looking at the introduction to the anthology A Silent Song and Other Stories. We said that these stories have been carefully selected to represent various generations and writers from diverse backgrounds. So this is one of the stories that we have in A Silent Song and Other Stories, and it is by a Kenyan writer. So let us look at some background information about the author, who is Meja Mwangi. So here is what we have about Meja Mwangi. So Mwangi was born in Nanyuki, Kenya, and was educated at Nanyuki Secondary School, Kenyatta College, and he also studied briefly at the University of Leeds. So Meja Mwangi then moved and worked for the French Broadcasting Corporation, doing odd jobs at the British Council in Nairobi as a visual aids officer. So that is before turning to writing full time. So after a prolonged period on the Kenyan and African publishing scene, Mwangi moved to the US after gaining international recognition and winning several awards. So his best known early work includes the novels like Kill Me Quick, that was produced in 1973. We have Going Down River Road, that was again in 1976, and The Cockroach Dance in 1979. So these stories, or the novels, illustrate the urban landscapes of Kenya, the struggle against poverty, and again the AIDS epidemic. So that is what we have so far about the author of An Incident in the Park. That is Meja Mwangi. Now, how about the title? That is the title of the story, An Incident in the Park. So we are told that the title is most suitable. It is most suitable for the text because it describes an event that occurs in the park. It describes an event that occurs in the park. So the incident in question is the encounter between the fruit seller and the two city constables, and the subsequent events that unfold as a result of this encounter, that is including the death by stoning of the fruit seller. So briefly, before we delve so much into the title, I want us to have a look at the cover. That is, look at the cover page of A Silent Song and Other Stories. So if you look at the cover of the page, we have got an image. So in the image, we can see the two constables over there. Then we also have a man who is running. So we have a basket of fruits which are on the ground. So the fruits are on the ground together with the basket. Then the man is running, and the two constables seem to be going after him. So there is also a woman there who is just maybe a passerby who is also watching what is happening. Then we also have got some fleet of matatus. So one is written Kanairo. So Kanairo, that is Nairobi. That is how it is called in a local language, or what we call Sheng. So the image that we have on the cover of this anthology, A Silent Song and Other Stories, symbolize, or they try to show us some visual image or visual representation of some of the things that are happening, or some of the events that we have in the incident in the park. So the title also captures the central event of the story, which takes place in the park, and it also reflects the theme of conflict and confrontation. Confrontation that runs throughout the story. So the incident in the park serves as a microcosm of the larger social and political issues that are touched upon in the story. So some of these issues we have, class conflict, that is the division of classes, conflict that come as a result of division of class in the society. We also have got some issues that are also raised, that is corruption and injustice among other issues. So overall, the title is fitting for the text because it accurately reflects the events and themes that we have in the story. So in an incident in the park, Kenyan author Medza Mwangi paints a grim picture of a loafer infested park. So with the two contentious air hanging forlornly over it. So the story ends when an innocent fruit seller is stoned to death by a mob in a case of mistaken identity. So that is just some briefing of the title. That is how best we can interpret the title, and again to see how it best suits the story. So dear students, the next thing that I want us to look at is the plot summary. So in the story, An Incident in the Park, the story opens with a gloomy description of the park. So we meet some park loungers who wear towers on end, sleeping in the park. So most of the idlers do not pay heed to the parliament and city hall clocks, and would rather sit there all day doing nothing. So we are told that at 1 p.m., officers, that is office workers, come out of their offices in swarms. They are then swallowed by the sad city as they disperse in search of lunch. So it is during lunch hours. So the idlers in the park nonchalantly watch the workers emerge from their offices, disappear into the city, and even anticipate the wave of workers to return from various eateries and flood past the park back to their various offices. So the parched park was almost dead, alive only with a few idlers. That is again what we are told in the story. So among the idle men sitting and lying under the trees and shrubs is a fruit seller. So he sits under a shrub taking stock of his sales. So he mumbles and curses and lays on his back, covering his face with his bony hands. So he lunges during lunch break. Maybe he's too poor to afford a meal. So again, more idle men sit by a small lake watching a couple of men paddling hired boats. These loafers while away are doing this every day. So the park is poorly maintained. We are told that a pond in the park is choking with ugly weeds. That is, we have got there is some pond that is within the park. So it is in it we are seeing ugly weeds, and there are also idle men. An idle man, sorry, who defies the order not to feed the angry fish, and defiantly throws rubbish into the water. So soon he starts conversing with a fellow idler. They chat about how fish are people. That is how fish are like people. They are more like human beings. That is according to their conversation. So the largest fish in the pond bullies the smaller fish as they compete for food in their feeding ground. So the man feeding the fish avers that there is a great big fish that could drink all the water in the ocean and cause a great drought, making the world to come to an end. The huge monster supposedly eat other fish. So another thing that we are told is that in the park we also meet two we meet an ice cream man. So they desperately the men selling ice cream desperately try to get customers, but to no avail. There are no sales. People are not buying the ice creams. So later we are told that city constables confront the fruit seller about his license and identity card. So he claims that he left them at home and tries to bribe them with 5 shillings and later 10 shillings, but they would hear nothing of it. So he desperately pleads with the men to let him go. He has a case with the judge he calls a tyrant. So he sells fruits to raise a fine for a case that he, had earlier on. So he further offers the constables 1 basket of fruits and 10 shillings. He even offers them both his fruit baskets, desperately trying to buy his freedom. So when they remain steadfast, decide to run for it, but sadly he is accosted by a mob who mistake him for a thief and they stone him to death. So he is stoned to death. That is what brings the theme of that is mob justice. So or injustice. So the man, the fruit seller, is stoned to death because of a mistaken identity. So they judge him based on his dirty torn clothes and a mean, angry face. So the uniform that he also wears. So the police come to collect the body, but no one is willing to appear as a witness to recount the events leading to the poor man's untimely demise in the hands of a lawless, erratic mob. So the two launchers who are talking about fish witnessed the whole spectacle before drifting guiltily back to the park to continue loafing. So the park is once again tranquil, just like a pond moments after that is after someone splashes something into the water. So that is the end of the plot analysis for an incident in the park by Meja Mwangi. So please, for you to get the, the thematic concerns that we have, I've just mentioned a few in the plot analysis, but for a detailed, information and illustration of the thematic concerns, please ensure that you watch the next episodes. And again, thank you for keeping it easily mobile.